The future has finally arrived. The golden era of QD OLED gaming monitors all begins with the Alienware AW3225QF QD OLED Gen 3 panel. And today I have my review. From the unboxing with that non-sufficient monitor packaging to that Alienware menu, we'll see how bright this monitor can get with a brightness test in SDR and HDR modes. I'll showcase that HDR Peak 1000 with PlayStation 5 gaming to really see that difference between SDR and HDR. You'll be able to follow along as I'll have the SDR HDR markers on the bottom of the screen. You can also check out the chapter select as I'll have a variety of tests that you may just want to jump to. Let's not forget PC gaming with G-Sync enabled, of course at 4K 240Hz. And as this is stock firmware, there have been some glitches, but thankfully, it's nothing to worry about and such an easy fix. Windows 11 Dolby Vision enabled, of course depending if the game supports it. HDR in creator mode looks very good. From Pixel Cup to Mortal Kombat 11, everything just pops off the screen. Please hit that like button so more people can see this video to help them make that awesome buying decision and know what's out there. We got a lot of QD OLED gaming monitors coming very soon. Get ready for a ton of versus videos. 2024 is going to be awesome. Thanks guys. Now I've been an Alienware fan for a long time. As you can see here, the AW2720HF, the AW2721D, and the AW2723DF, the first two at 240Hz, with the latter at 280Hz. Of course, all IPS technologies. And our first QD OLED with the Alienware AW3423DW with that awesome stadium lighting that I've showcased here on the channel. And the new introduction to the family, the Alienware R16 desktop. Everything running super fast and super cool. But now, QD OLED at 32 inches. With the Gen 3 panel, let's take a look at the unboxing, as I do want to point out a major problem. Now we can't blame Dell for the actual shipping of the package, as it really depends on the carrier. But taking a look at the cardboard, these monitors do need way more protection, way more styrofoam, and a much better outer reinforced cardboard. But the good thing is, nothing was missing, and everything came as it should. And with QD OLED, they actually include a microfiber cloth. When the carrier was bringing the package, they were holding it from the side. The whole top right corner was actually ripped. Look how close it is to the screen, to the corner of the monitor. I'm sure you're saying what I'm feeling. This is ridiculous. This should never happen. But we can't blame Dell for our carrier situation. But these monitors do need way more protection. My heart stopped by seeing this. But the good thing is, after unboxing it, there was no issues. This brown cardboard is very cheap. They need foam everywhere, especially when these monitors cost so much money. Taking a look at the ports, we have a USB upstream, 2 downstream. Here we have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports and 1 DisplayPort 1.4. HDMI 1 has an ER connection, where you can connect your soundbar for your PC or consoles, as this monitor does not have a 3.5mm audio out or headphone port. So this is going to come very handy. We also have 2 USB ports in the bottom front of the monitor, with the joystick menu button, the power connection, and that power on and off button. This is wall mountable at 100mm by 100mm. Now the monitor screen was bubble wrapped, but doing a close inspection, you can see there are micro scuffs. Now this issue is exactly like my Alienware DW. There's way less here, but still, either this is coming from the factory or this bubble wrap that they're using has some kind of issue. I wonder if this is going to be on future flat QD OLEDs, as the w-OLEDs from LG don't have any, not on the LG or Asus. And because this is curved, who knows, maybe this is a curved issue. It's kind of disappointing to see this, and I've only seen this on my 2 QD OLED monitors. Getting right into the menu, by pushing in the thumbstick, you have easy access to your shortcuts. Here under Game, you can select your picture presets, Creator, Console, Game Enhance options, the Dark Stabilizer, Alien Vision, and a whole bunch of other options. All your inputs are under Input Source. You can control your Alien FX lighting. Under Display, you can select which HDR mode you prefer, your picture-in-picture settings, the transparency effect of the menu, and you can personalize it with your shortcuts. Under Others, you can select your pixel and panel refresh, your firmware, the serial number, and some more information. Yes friends, that pixel refresh is present here in this 32-inch QD OLED. And you'll see in this video, my panel's health was already on yellow. I've only had this monitor on for about 8 hours, testing HDR modes, and this is the first time it kicked in. The HDR Peak highlights has been amazing on this monitor. Nothing comes close to that per pixel dimming, the sharpness, crispness of the picture, especially with the HDR Peak 1000, everything just pops. But just say you need to use this in SDR mode. The good thing is, it's still nice and punchy. The colors really do stand out, but just not that impactful. And compared to other w-OLEDs, this version is brighter. Here testing with the SM208 light meter. At a 2% window, in SDR mode, we're looking at 272 nits. And that's gonna come across every single window besides the 100%. While in HDR, we're looking at a whopping 1094 nits of this peak highlight. That is crazy. crazy good, and throughout this video, you will be able to see that impact. Of course, as the window sizes get bigger, the HDR brightness impact does lower a bit. It does seem that this monitor is capped at 272 nits in SDR. That's why I always select HDR Peak 1000. As you can see, it does fluctuate, but the impact is there. It doesn't matter if it's for the PC or consoles. Keep it on HDR Peak 1000 and never switch it again. It's that good. And with that QD OLED color, the impact is easily seen and much more enjoyable. Now at 100%, you can see SDR drops to 270 nits, while HDR tops at 271. Here's another picture with the screen luminance meter. Long gone are the days with that w-OLED LG panel of under 200 nits. This is an improvement. Now this is an SDR video, so you won't be able to see the ultra detail of HDR, but the highlights are clearly visible. This monitor truly shines in HDR. Look at the motorcycle's light. That is crazy. It's eye-piercing on the right, and here it's easily seen. The definition that HDR gives you really is a step above of SDR. And I think with all these new next generation panels, w-OLED, QD OLED, and any kind of mini LED, these monitors should be run in HDR. And it's finally nice to see technology back it up with that awesome brightness, especially and at least in those peak highlights. Here with Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 5, look at those peak highlights on the right. That's easily above 400 nits. While in SDR mode, the cap is 270. It still looks nice, but if you want that impact, HDR mode is the way to go. Here looking at full screen, I just don't see how anyone would buy this monitor and not take advantage of HDR Peak 1000. It's where this monitor shines through. Look how sharp the monitor looks here with Demon Souls. It really is very sharp. I mean, look at that contrast. You can see every raindrop. The camera is not doing it justice. Here pausing with the lightning, you can see how bright the image can get. I actually can see every raindrop, every brick on the castle. Look at this scene. You can see the teeth, the throat, the moon, the lightning, everything. I'm telling you guys, QD OLED technology really does shine that clarity over all other existing technologies. Here slowing down the speed to 10%. Everything is retained, so far in HDR mode. With this glossy panel and this technology, I think this is the one to beat, even over my Odyssey Neo G8 mini LED monitor. This is glossy, and that one has an ultra matte coating. And while I think it's very sharp, with this glossy screen, there's no matte coating blocking or hindering the experience from screen to your eyes. It's that sharp. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it, but hit that subscribe button if you want to see a wide variety of Versus videos coming up very soon. Don't forget to hit that like button, friends, so more people can see this video to help them make that awesome buying decision. The golden age is here, and it all begins now. Here with some more gameplay footage, you can see in HDR everything's lit up, especially with this Peak 1000. Nothing is overly dark. Now moving on over to the PC, 240Hz never looks so good, especially on QD OLED. Now Windows 11 supports Dolby Vision by default. At least this is what my PC is stating. But for this section of the video, I do have it set to creator mode. As you're gonna see in a bit, I am testing sRGB 2.2 Gamma with HDR Peak 1000, as you may have some issues, and I have been able to catch some glitches. But don't worry, it's such an easy fix. But a glitch is a glitch, and I'm sure a future firmware will remove it. But here with Pixel Cup, HDR is looking nice, the brightness is popping, the saturation is there, and in creator mode, everything just looks nice. Now I usually would keep it on standard, but like I said, I am testing creator mode to help you make that awesome buying decision. And it's very doable even for gaming. Turning on Mortal Kombat 11, on the right screen it said Dolby Vision. I'm not sure if this natively supports it, but it's looking pretty nice to my eyes. In the future, I'll get a list of all games being natively supported by Dolby Vision, and we'll be able to test out HDR10. I think that would be pretty fun. And from what I'm seeing, it does look nicer than the DW. So until we get into a Versus video, this is the monitor to beat. Currently the king of HDR. Now like I said, we are in PC mode, and I have enabled G-Sync. So far I haven't seen any flickering, especially in ultra bright white scenes. More testing on a variety of games needs to be done to determine if that's an issue. Now what you're seeing here is creator mode on the sRGB preset with Gamma Mode 2.2, and I have been able to see an issue that some are reporting online. But rest assured, there's an easy fix. I want you to keep your eye on this gaming chair that's on screen. It's black, and you can see its definition. But something does happen when you change the settings. As you can see, sRGB mode. But if I switch to DCI-P3 and back to sRGB, it washes the whole picture out. Like if the monitor forgets what it's doing and it switches settings. Now this has to be a bug, and I'm sure a firmware will fix. I mean, what do you expect? You try to be the first to the market, sometimes things like this happen. Now the issue here, Gamma 2.2 is washed out. When I switch to 2.0, I freeze frame the image. Here's this white line, going down to 1.8, back to 2, back to 2.2, and there's another flicker. Usually when you change gamma settings, it just changes. There is no freeze to the image. Again, like a glitch. When I go to 2.4, 2.6, every time I switch to a different gamma setting, this line freeze picture happens. I'm freeze framing again to catch these images. 2.2 looks like 1.8, so I'm putting it back to 2.2. As you can see, this image does not look like how we started. Here I'm showing you a side-by-side of how it's supposed to look at 2.2. On the left, it's washed. On the right, it's correct. And this is how it's supposed to look. You can see 2.2. But if you change it and go back to 2.2, this is what happens. It's washed out. It's technically unusable, at least in this mode. But many people prefer and need creator mode. But you can see sRGB mode is all washed. Okay, now we know the issue. How do we fix it? Before changing anything, I'm going to go back into sRGB mode. But just by setting everything back how it should be, even though it looks washed. That's our starting point. All you gotta do, friends, is turn off HDR. Turn it back on. And it's fixed. It seems that the washed out image only happens if you change the setting. So just don't change the setting. Don't go to DCI-P3 if you prefer sRGB. Don't change the gamma, as 2.2 is the standard. Now, I personally wouldn't use HDR in creator mode, that's just me. But hey, if you need it, this is the fix. But this pertains to my monitor. If you have it, please leave a comment down below and tell me if this worked for you. When you get these monitors, friends, especially on vanilla firmware, things like this can happen. So just wait for an update, and hopefully it'll fix itself. So friends, there you have it. The Alienware AW3225QF 4K 240Hz QD OLED gaming monitor, Gen 3 panel, is finally here. The golden age of monitors has finally arrived. I hope this video was informative on some fixes, some issues, especially the packaging and those micro scuffs, the brightness test, the crisp sharpness of this picture, the amazing colors, that awesome HDR Peak 1000 mode for your next generation consoles and PC, 240Hz with G-Sync enabled. I haven't had enough time with this monitor to talk about coil whine, but so far I haven't had any issues, at least nothing that stands out. But I make many versus videos, friends, and I'm sure I'll update you very soon if these things appear. Right now, what you're seeing, I have a lot of ambient light going around in my room, behind me, on the side, and behind the monitor. Actually, I have 4 lights behind the monitor, and I don't see the QD OLED, that purple haze, being shown, as that usually happens when you show light in front of it, like a bright TV or lamp. So if you have light behind it, you shouldn't have any issues. Even though this is a 1700R curved monitor, there is no reflections, even if it's glossy, as depending on your room, you may have to place this in a different setting, so you don't see reflections or bright objects being reflected on the screen. Look how clear this monitor is. Guys, there's so much to talk about this monitor, I can't fit it all in one video. So please check back, as I will update you on many situations, many scenes, new games on next generation consoles and PCs. This conversation on this technology is not over, and there's so many brands coming out in the near future. We have so much to choose from, and this is just the first. And so far, all signs point that the time is now to buy that QD OLED gaming monitor. So friends, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button so more people can see it to help them make that awesome buying decision. Consider subscribing if you want more information and more videos, reviews, just like this one, showcasing display technology. Always, friends, to help you make that awesome buying decision. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys next time.